Good morning, everyone. Nanda here. I trust everyone is doing well on this glorious Monday morning. It is November 18th, and it is unbelievably warm for Northwest Pennsylvania. I have pictures that are coming up where my son is eating snow, so we should be getting snow right now, but we're not. The thing I'm going to talk about today is why my husband and I are choosing public education for our son. He is, if you combine all the kids together, he is the youngest of 7 children. Um, so we're blended, plus we have our own. My oldest is in his 40s, and back in the day, homeschooling wasn't even thought of. As the kids got older, homeschooling became part of a thing, and homeschooling is really big right now. I watch a lot of homesteading YouTube channels, and a lot of them homeschool their kids. They give a lot of reasons why they homeschool, and I'm going to do a little bit different why we talk about public education. I wrote some notes, so I keep my thoughts straight. The first reason that we are choosing to use public education is that we live in a really good school district. Our location is outside the city, and if we were in the city, it would be a different scenario. We would probably be homeschooling or paying for private education. But we do have a good school district, and I found that our current school district is very student-centered. I have had kids that have gone to elementary school in a different district. That district was not as student-centered. Districts do make a difference. When I worked at the technical school, one of the jobs I originally had was to go out and recruit students to come into the vocational school. And each of the sending districts that sent students to our school, each district had a different energy about it. The faculty was different, the students were different, and the district that we're in right now is a very student-centered district. Our son gets a lot of help. He gets a lot of help that I wouldn't even think about, and I have known kids who have moved into our district who have really increased their skills from the previous district. So we have a very good school district. Our school district is also extremely transparent with their communication. Our district uses the Schoology app, and I must get probably some days 3 messages from his teacher sending pictures of the activities that they're doing, sending a picture of the reader that comes in on Fridays, the guest reader, and who that person is. And so I really like the transparency. They're really working on transparency. That is one of the things that when they take surveys, the parents wanted to know what was going on in the district. And they really have worked on being transparent. And with that, as I already mentioned, there is a lot of communication that we get from our district. Unlike 40 years ago when I put my kid on a bus, they went to school, and I never really knew what they were doing or what was happening in the school. We get a lot of emails from the superintendent, from the principal of the school about what is happening in our district, and I really appreciate that. Whether all school districts are like that in our area, I don't know, but I know our district has really worked hard to open up communication with the parents. The other thing is that we needed to consider our kids' personality. So the district is number one, but our child is extremely social. He's an extremely social child, and he really is built for having a younger sibling. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. He is an extremely social child. When he does play sports, he was playing flag football earlier this year, and when they did the end group activity, his coach said, he was really social. He talked a lot. He even would talk to the referee going back to the line of scrimmage. And so I don't feel, and I know I'm probably wrong, and everyone's gonna they have social activities on homeschooling. Regardless, he enjoys being around a lot of people, and what he does not need is to be in our house with me as his learning mentor, doing only activities between him and I. That is not going to be successful for him. So you have to look at my field. You have to look at what's going to give your child the most success. Also, he takes a lot of visual cues from other people as to what he is to be doing. He has an auditory processing issue, and sometimes the verbal language doesn't really hit what he's supposed to do right away. And so he takes a lot of visual cues from other people around him as to what he's supposed to be doing. And this will continue, I am sure, as he gets older. When the teacher says, for example, turn your pages to 38, and we're going to go over these things. I've had other kids that also take the visual cues, and they just they're still processing it. The kids are working, and they look next to the other person like, oh, I'm supposed to be getting my book out. I'm supposed to be going to page, 39 or whatever it is. The other advantage is that he can be himself without me being around. So he's not in my shadow anymore. We just had parent-teacher conferences, and everyone was saying how great of a kid he is, how they really love him, he really does high fives. And I have to agree with, not agree with them, but I have to trust these people that they're not feeding me a load of teacher jargon, because sometimes we do that, about what a great kid he is. I have made a comment that he must metamorphosize on the way to school, because when he comes home, he drops the stuff and he is an absolute crank. But I also think that he kind of keeps it together, and so he releases whatever energy he has here where he feels safe. But with that, he can be his own person at school. The other thing with that is when you get a group of people together, there is a learning curve on how to deal with other people. And I know when there is homeschool, there's an opportunity to be around other kids and other activities, but I don't feel that this would be enough for him. I really wouldn't. I think that he would be so concerned about the next group activity that he wouldn't want to focus on what he has to do. So with homeschooling, it's not that I'm incapable of doing this. I really feel that his best option is to be in the public school system and gaining from those educators their years of experience that they have teaching, little kids. The other thing is that we could always supplement what he's learning. There's a lot of things that we do that most people consider homesteading activities. But there's a lot of things that we do, whether it be cooking, whether it be helping out in the garden, whether it be weeding, or picking up sticks. When he gets older, he'll be helping mowing the grass. And also as he gets older, there's a lot of technical things we do around here. My husband works on cars a lot, has a lot of tools and a lot of equipment. And as he gets older, he will be learning how to use that in the appropriate manner. The big thing right now is, he's playing right now. He goes out and he plays with, that pretends he's fixing things. And the big thing right now is, and a lot of guys would appreciate this, is that when you take a tool out of my toolbox, you have to remember to put it back. And a lot of men or a lot of people in the trades, you better put that tool back exactly where you found it. My husband's not quite that rigid. I have known men that have been that rigid. He's not that rigid. It just needs to end up in the same drawer that you got it from, as opposed to finding expensive tools out in the yard that are being exposed to the weather. It's not a good scenario. So that type of stuff he can't necessarily learn in public education. That is stuff that we need to learn here, or he needs to learn here. And so we will supplement what he's getting in public school. Basically, they're doing the basics, and we're supplementing with a lot of other stuff. So that, in a nutshell, is why we are choosing public education as opposed to homeschooling. I'm not saying that's not going to change in the future. I realize that when you get to middle school and high school, things are a lot different. But he's still going to be that very social kid that loves to hang out with people, that wants to play sports, even though he's not always, might not be that good with it, to be a part of the group. And I really feel that by homeschooling, in our current situation, he would not be provided activity. Well, that is all I have to say about that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you the next time. Bye.